Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to episode 6 of Mosaic Sparks. And Mosaic Sparks is a platform for visionary women. Hey, I get to interview amazing women that are doing things across the spectrum. And so today is no different. On this episode, you're going to hear how you can turn LinkedIn into an amazing platform. It's not like the platform that it was 10, 20 years ago. And so I have an incredible guest that's going to walk us through that. So you're going to learn that in this video. So I'm going to bring on none other than, I call her Thelma, TT Ahamba. Hey, Thelma, good morning. Good morning. How are you? Welcome. I keep on forgetting because I see your name, but I call you Thelma. So, so welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us here today on the Mosaic Sparks. And as we get started, just go ahead and tell the people who you are, and then we'll kind of jump into some conversation questions.
Awesome. I like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night to you, wherever you may be watching from. My name is Thelma Titi Ahamba, but you can call me Themi. I am a digital marketing consultant, a very fun person of LinkedIn, simply because that platform did give me my voice. And that got me into rooms I could only dream about, that got me connected to people I could only dream about meeting in real life, both digitally and physically. I work with medium, large, and small businesses to understand and leverage social media to include in their business strategy and turn their social media or digital presence into impacting their bottom line in real time. So if you're out there and you're watching now or you're going to watch the replay, definitely check this out because LinkedIn is a gold mine. It works, it still does work even after I take a break, even after I'm not so active on there, it still does work because of the relationships I have built over the years. So I am super excited about today's conversation, and I cannot wait to jump into this chat with Leslie on Mosaic Sparks. Mosaic has been a very warm community for me, and if you are a lady out there and you're looking for the most amazing community of sisters to shine your light, to not dim, to get confidence, whatever levels you are, you definitely want to join the Mosaic community because Leslie is super awesome. I'm not just saying it because I'm on her platform. I say it. I try as much as possible to say it as long as I can and wherever I can because Leslie has impacted my life in such a very short time, and she's been an amazing blessing to me, and I am happy to be on here. So if you need some tips or some support on how you can leverage your social media presence. Doesn't matter if you have one follower, five followers, 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers. I know a lot of people who have a very large community that's not impacting their bottom line in a very positive way. So it doesn't matter how many followers you have on social media, you want to understand how you can leverage that and unlock success. Definitely do reach out to me. I'm Timmy Ahamba on my platform. Please do send me a DM on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are. Definitely, I'll be happy to check in with you. So, thank you so much, Leslie, for having me. I am excited to be sitting here and I have missed you so much.
Ooh, you are so incredible. Before we get started, let me just go ahead and say welcome to, we have a guest here. Welcome, Candy. Thank you for joining us. And Thelma, one thing that I would say about you, we met, I want to say maybe 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And what I absolutely admire, love about you is the way that you are able to give people flowers, and you do it in such an incredible way. I've watched your lives, and on two lives that you've had, I've heard you mention my name, and it does something to me
Oh.
for you to be such a young woman and to understand what it means to give people their flowers. So first of all, let me just say that because I have not met anyone that has done that for me, and so I don't have to be in the room for you to talk about me, and that to me is incredible. A few months ago, I got a text from someone in my community, and she said, Leslie, thank you for doing such and such. And I said, oh my God, yeah, you're welcome. And I said, you do what you do because it's a passion for you. It's something that's in you. You know, it's your purpose. You do what you do because that's just who I am. And she says, and I said, nobody usually says thank you or really and truly how I've impacted their life. And she said, let me tell you something. She says, you've impacted so many people's lives. They're not going to come and tell you. But let me be one of the people to tell you. And so that's what you have also done for me, that you remind me of the impact. And when I talk about impact, right? Impact is, I call it a ripple effect. The reason why you throw a rock in the ocean or in a lake or in a river or whatever, it's just one rock. But those ripples, you don't know how far out that's going to go. And so, even with you, when we met 4 years ago, and I've been able to sit back and watch the hundreds and thousands of people's lives that you've touched and continue to touch, I just sit back and smile. So, first of all, let me just say that, and we're going to jump into the show. So, here's what I'm going to ask you. What inspired you to start your journey as a digital content creator? And how did you envision helping others achieve their goal?
So, this go way back into my childhood. My mom, I grew up with my mother and my four sisters, and my mom, we used to live in Ghana at the refugee camp. She was a pastry maker. United Nations would do their best to bring out different trainings and different stuff to help empower women. Because you definitely know women like mainly at the system in the home, right? And I respect the guys, the fathers and stuff support, but not many families are privileged to have fathers in their home, like myself when growing up. So there was a lot of trainings. My mom had learned how to bake pastries from her mother, and also she she would bake. And when United Nations came to the camp, they were having vocational training programs for women. Some people were making soap, some were learning tailoring, some were learning how to bake and decorate cakes or to advance themselves and stuff. So that was where I sort of got my entrepreneurship spirit from my mom. But the thing is, my mom pastries was so good, but also one major challenge, and that was before social media. One major challenge was the fact that almost all the women at the camp, because we're learning from the same place, they were part of the same program because it was a refugee camp. It was a very, small community and stuff. Almost all the homes at the camp knew how to bake. They would make donuts, they would make cornbread and shortbread and different types of pastries. And every, almost everybody was selling the same thing. Almost everybody was selling soap. Almost everybody was sewing clothes. Almost everybody was sewing pastries. So at the age of 9, I started selling for my mom. And then because almost everybody was doing the same kind of businesses, the competition was tough. So at that very tender age, I had to learn how to tap into my personality to be able to sell, right? Because whatever I sold at the time would be used for feeding our home and be used for my sisters and I school fees or family support or whatever. That was our main source of income. So the visibility wasn't much. My mom made some of the best pastries, y'all. And some people that may watch this on my stuff, I still have my customers from way back. Give some shout out for the bread girl, because that's what they used to call me, the bread girl. And guess what? my mom made some of the best pastries, but it was only the people who knew about how good her pastries was only as far as my legs could take me. And I would usually go to sell in the morning before I go to school, and I would go to sell in the afternoon or the evening. When I come back from school from what I didn't finish, I will go finish it up in the afternoon, right before bedtime, and then we have to prepare the dough and other stuff for the next morning. And that was the routine of my childhood. So I would go sell in the morning, come back from school, do whatever I could do, house chores or whatever. I had four sisters I was living with, right? Technically three because my other sister was married at the time. And I would come back, we'll make pastries we'll prepare the stuff for the next morning baking. And we'll wake up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to start getting stuff ready because I need to go sell by 6 o'clock before going to school in the morning, right? So the only people that really knew me was as far as my legs could take me. But here's the tough thing. I only got to sell if I was able to get to my customers or my clients' home before my competitors got there. And I'm competing against tons of women in the community because it's a refugee camp, it's a small camp, and almost everybody was selling the same thing. So then I decided to, understand myself, my personality, and how I relate to people. And I was riding the waves of my natural personality and my natural gifts to sell my mom's stuff. I started learning how to communicate with anyone and everyone, in spite of your age, your background, your status, or whatever. I could engage in any kind of conversation and stuff. And that made me want to do more. And at the time, I was good with numbers as a kid, and I was thinking about my future. As tender as that, I was thinking I could do accounting or whatever. And I'm like, no, I enjoy going out to meet people and sell. I enjoy connecting with people on a daily basis. I want to do something in my life that will make me connect with people, right? Because every single time I go out in the morning, I just love to see the smile on my mom's face when I get back home with my bread basket and it's empty. That means I brought tons of money to take us through the day and to go towards my sister and I education. All right. So I spent almost my entire life in a refugee camp. I finished college, returned home to Liberia. And when I was going to college, I wanted to do something that would continue to let me connect. And then when I was applying to college, I had applied for accounting as my first major and then marketing as my second. Then when I switched college, I'm like, I don't want to be stuck behind a computer 24/7. No disrespect to accountants, but I kind of thought that was boring for me because I wanted to interact with people on a daily basis, right? So I went in for marketing. I'm like, okay, this is going to show me the theory side of business so I can continue to sell because I love it and I can enjoy myself meeting new people and impacting new people. So when I was done with college, I had moved back home to Liberia from Ghana, and I was, getting integrated in the job market and the system at home. I was always looking out for organizations that would impact other people's lives, especially when it comes to marketing. So for so long, I was working as a volunteer, and I got my first paying job based on a recommendation from one of the jobs I had, worked at as a volunteer. And there, they were working with smaller businesses, smaller locally made, you know, local entrepreneurs who were processing agricultural products to turn into finished products, right? So they were literally, these businesses were taking stuff from the farm and turning them into table ready products you can use on your shelf at home and stuff. And I had the opportunity, that job gave me the playing field to get creative, to bring my thoughts to life, to help businesses and impact. And for one reason or the other, most of these businesses were female owned businesses. And compared to the male counterparts, they didn't really understand how to use technology, how to leverage social media to run their businesses and stuff. And that took me back to why I did marketing in the first place. My mother. I wanted to help businesses like my mom. And I recall my childhood experience knowing that the visibility I got at the time when I was selling for my mom was as far as my legs could take me. That was be before social media. And now that life had advanced so much, and there was social media, and I'm sitting here, I could be in a little village in Liberia, and I could sell stuff on Facebook, and someone in America is going to see, someone in Australia is going to see, someone in Asia is going to see. I found purpose in doing that. There, it wasn't and it has always been, it wasn't really about the money. My joy was, now what I wasn't able to do as a child for my mom, in as much as I was putting in the work, now I was able to do for other female owned businesses. uh, uh, and these women I looked at then as my mom, because they were really good at what they do. They were making pepper sauce, they were making clothes, they were making juices, they were making really nice stuff. And I got to experience these products firsthand. But they didn't have the look of it, they didn't have the feel of it, they didn't have the visibility they deserved. In working with them, just spark a new birth of that vision I had to help my mom take her business to the next level before social media. And that was one thing that made me to say, okay, I did marketing in college, but now I want to do this for life. It became my mission because of those women I worked with then. So I hope that answered the question. And that was how I got started.
That was incredible. That was incredible. And let me, because I wrote my notes, but let me just say this. I love that quote, as far as my legs could take me. And you should, that's like a whole mission statement right there, right? Because and like you said, you were in an area where it was very small. Most of everybody was doing the same thing. And from a very young age, you were cognizant of that. And your driver was, you wanted to help your mom because you knew that you were the one that was making money and bringing money into the home. And now what you've done with digital, with being a digital content creator, you've now flourished the world. And earlier we are just talking about impact, right? So you see, when I talk about the ripple effect, your mom is just one woman, and because of that, you have helped hundreds and thousands of people in their businesses. So that ripples to their customers. You've helped so many people across so many different platforms. So, what an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, now we're going to jump into LinkedIn. So, how has leveraging LinkedIn specifically helped you build your brand and connect with like-minded professionals? I know
Yeah.
this is your juicy subject.
Yeah, I could write a whole book about how LinkedIn gave me my voice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could write a whole book about this. Like, I remember Clubhouse days, and when I connected with Leslie, I connected with amazing women, and I I had created my LinkedIn account years before I got serious about it, and it was just like another social media platform. Like, a lot of people think of it just another social media platform, nothing serious and stuff like that. So I had the same thing as well. I was thinking it's just another social media platform, and I just need to be on there. So I went through college. My LinkedIn account was fresh and empty, like most young professionals would do. And I was there. And I remember going through college, not doing anything with my LinkedIn account. And not until I was about to write my first solo project, which is a book. I wrote the drive. And I'm like, I think I have this social media account. I know it's a lot of professionals on there. I just want to take it seriously a little bit, so, my work, I can get known for my work and stuff. So my primary focus was, I want to I want to tap into LinkedIn because I want to connect with serious minded people. Not to say the other platforms never had serious minded people. We all knew how LinkedIn started. LinkedIn was initially for job hunting and job searching and whatever. So I had that mindset as well, right? So one thing I did was I'm like, I'm getting ready for my book project. Let me take LinkedIn seriously. So I got on there, started connecting with people. It's very natural for me to connect with people and build relationships. So I started doing that. And then I started reaching out to the people that had the title, the gurus, the consultants, the coaches. And I just wanted to get into their space and see what they were doing and how I could understand the platform better to be able to use it to my advantage, right? And then I got on there and I started building relationships. I started connecting with people. I paid for a few LinkedIn classes and got certificates and understanding LinkedIn because I needed to get down to the nitty gritty. I remember reaching out to a consultant from the UK and I was charged a couple of thousand of pounds. And I'm like, bro, where am I going to get that kind of money just to go through my LinkedIn? Right. So I remember searching and searching and I found someone who I could afford. And I was able to, the thing about value is if you if you take it seriously, you could get a lot out of there. So for me, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter how it is, I'm gonna be able to pay for value. I knew I could not afford the consultant or the coach from UK at the time, but I found a local, expert who who would give me the same value I needed, but who I could afford. And I was very intentional. This is what I wanted to do. I saw it as an investment for my book project. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pay for this and I'm going to learn about it. So I did pay for the service and I did learn about it. And it was so fascinating knowing that, man, this is just way more than a social media platform. Okay. And I was so intrigued by the level of, the depth of knowledge this lady had about LinkedIn and how she was using it to grow her business. And I'm like, Elma, you can just see LinkedIn as a regular social media platform or just a temporary serious project for your book because you want to promote your book. So you need to take it more seriously. And I'm like, I got to do what I got to do. And what I naturally can do is connect with people and build real relationships. All right. And in building that relationship, I was connecting with people who were on the same journey as me. The thing about sharing your knowledge is you don't have to know everything to want to share. You could share your learning journey. There are thousands of people, there are millions of people on that same level as you. So if you gradually share your experiences, the good thing is people will identify you for the things you usually would show for, the spaces you're showing up in consistently, the things you're talking about consistently. People are going to recognize you for that. And when that topic is brought up somewhere, you're going to be the first person that comes to mind. When I was learning about LinkedIn, I was just having fun, people. Okay. I wasn't even, taking it as a career or anything. But the more I delved deep into learning about the platform and how it worked and how I can make it work for me, the more excited I got. And for me, I love sharing knowledge. I love sharing things I learned. I love sharing my perspective on stuff because I know we all have unique experiences. The experience I have with LinkedIn and the experience the other gurus have with LinkedIn is completely different. You will find value in mine as well as you'll find value in other people's opinions, okay? Because our experience shape our perceptions, it shape our perspective to life, it shape our views and our opinions on topics and different things. So I was just having fun with LinkedIn. And then I was getting so excited about LinkedIn. I started sharing. I would bring that to Clubhouse. I would talk about it on my social media. And some people were getting it, some people were not getting it, right? And then I was just having fun with it. And then I realized people started reaching out to me to say, the basics, how to open my account, how to set up my profile, I wasn't going to, doing marketing strategies right from the get go to say, do XYZ with LinkedIn and you're going to get leads or you're going to get people. I was using LinkedIn and I'm still using LinkedIn to build relationship for life. I don't care if I'm active for a whole month, I am still going to get the real life relationship in my DMs. And that is the secret that most people don't understand. They just want to set up a cute profile, have a full description on there, have a cute profile picture and stuff, and that's it. They just want to sketchy content and go out. No. The juice is in you adding your human factor, adding your human relationship. That spice, you are the actual spice in this jollof rice I'm talking about, y'all. Okay? Jollof rice is an African dish. You should step into an African restaurant and go ask about that. Actually, the Liberian jollof rice, though, there's a whole lot of debate on that. But yes, ask for Liberian jollof rice. It's completely different from any other countries. Okay? But yeah, the thing is, I started using LinkedIn, having fun with LinkedIn. And y'all, I started doing classes on helping professionals. And of course, I still do that privately, but for businesses. And I don't put it there out there too much because I work with business owners to help their staff, leverage LinkedIn and build their personal brand for business success. So definitely, if you want to have a chat about this sometime, please feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere. Tell me Ahamba. I'll be right there to answer you. And that was how I got really excited about LinkedIn. And I started finding my voice. And I started getting connected with people who mattered, people I wanted to connect with, people I wanted to build real relationships with, people I wanted to people I wanted to relate with, people I wanted to build real relationship with and stuff. And guess what? It took off. And at the time, give me a second. At the time, I had like just one follower. I just had 1,000 followers, and guess what? I was nominated for the Post Ghana LinkedIn Influencer Award, and that really shifted my entire perception about showing up. Some people will say, to be an influencer, you need over 10K followers. Like, I was the least in numbers of followers. But then what I realized that the community I had impacted, like Leslie was talking about, I was preaching the good news of LinkedIn on Clubhouse, on Facebook, on Instagram, on everything. And I was just doing it out of excitement. I haven't even found a business strategy around that yet to say, oh, I could use this to make money out of it. I was just having fun. I was just being me. And when that took a whole new flight, when I was nominated among some top brand names in Ghana, and I'm like, wait, what? So what I'm doing is actually making an impact. It's not about the number of people who's following me on LinkedIn because I had a little over 1,000 followers and other people were having 10, 20, 15,000, 20,000, 100,000. And I'm like, okay. And then that was when I recognized that LinkedIn amplified my voice by just me sharing my learning journey and stuff like that. And I started having classes on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, classes for professional, classes for business owners, classes for just anybody who wanted to understand the platform and make it work for their business. So Leslie, I hope that answer your question.
That again was amazing. I got so much gems out of that. The biggest thing is share your learning journey. And, as you were being excited, but what you didn't realize what you were doing is you were being consistent. And, that's, I talk about the three C's, and consistency is one of them. And, you were just being consistent. So on whatever platform that you showed up on, they knew that Thelma was going to be talking about LinkedIn. Right. And
Yes.
so no wonder you were nominated. And what I also admire is the fact that the numbers didn't matter, right? You had less than 1,000 followers. The numbers did not matter, but people saw the value that you brought to the marketplace. And not only that, for someone like you, a young woman, being on LinkedIn, because I know I think I started a LinkedIn profile, I don't know how long ago. And really and truly, only because of you that I started to get back on LinkedIn, because I was like, LinkedIn is about when you want to go look for a job, right? But it's so much more than that. So thank you for those great gems, and I hope that you know the people that are watching, those that come back and watch the replay, realize that you're not the only one when you're going through a journey. There's somebody else that's going through the same journey as you, and they want to know, oh my God, well, let me connect with this person. Another thing that you talked about was relationships, was how important relationships are. You're not building your profile on LinkedIn for a one and done. You're building it for lifetime relationships. That in itself is golden. So let's pop back over to another question. So, what type of content do you find most effective on LinkedIn to engage your audience and to build that type of meaningful connection that you're talking about, that connection for life? The people are going to want to know, what type of content is that? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I would say no platform has a one size fit all kind of content. I would say the kind of content you should look out for is putting your soul, your personality into whatever content, whether it's an article, whether it's a video, whether it's a short post. The thing is, we are first humans before we become professionals. All right? Nobody want to dry out no human elements kind of content. So find what works for you. Sometimes video works, sometimes selfie works, sometimes just being you, you being a mom and you being, just stepping out of a meeting in your car and walking into Walmart trying to grab stuff for your kids or trying to grab some birthday celebration or Halloween or whatever celebration you're working on for your kids or for your family, or you just juggling. That content could be a video content. That content could be a written content. That content could be an article. Walking through steps on how your daily life is in an article or in a long post or in a short post, or just, some form of messy, here's me tired from last night meeting and my baby kept me up all night kind of content. And you will have no idea how much that could spark a conversation with people who are going to relate. So I would say don't focus on the format of content, focus on the key ingredients you put in that content. Focus on being relatable with your audience, and that's what's going to drive your engagement. I've tested it all. I've tested it all. Focus on yourself, putting yourself in that content. I'm a mother, I got 3 kids. A lot of people don't know I got 3 kids because I just look like I got out of high school. So if I share a mother's struggle, I don't care if you're black, yellow, Asian, white, whatever. If you're a mother, you're gonna relate to that, right? If you're a professional mother who's working and who's got a job and who's doing a business, who's going to school, who's taking care of the kids at home, whether you're homeschooling your kids or your kids are in daycare, you're going to relate to that because you're gonna see yourself in that. So I'll say focus on being relatable with your audience, because how you train your audience to what you want, the algorithm is going to move in your favor. Not everybody see your content when you put it out there. But the more consistent you are, the more the algorithm is going to get trained to what you're putting out there. And the more people that relate with your content, the algorithm is going to push your content to those people who find your content relatable. And that's what they're going to see. All right. So focus on putting yourself in there. I'm not saying take us on your honeymoon trip and all through the, step by step. No, I'm saying get personal, but keep your juices too. But there's so many things we relate. We all relate with heartbreak. What has heartbreak taught you about business? What has rejection in romantic relationships taught you about business rejections? We all go through different types of rejections. So focus on your personal experience or perspective or opinions. Put that in your content. I don't care if it's a video content, it's a short ad content, it's a picture content, it's a graphic content, infographic. I don't care what kind of format it takes. Just focus on putting your soul in there. Leslie, over to you.
Amazing. Amazing. Here's another question I have for you, because you've worked with a wide range of people. Um, do you find, what age demographic do you find it's harder for them to put themselves in their content, or if that is even a thing?
So over the years that I've worked with different people across spectrum and age group, I realize you see the Gen Zs and the young people who are taking LinkedIn seriously, they're just having fun with it. and that's how they'll build
Mm.
their lives. But the older generation, the CEOs and the COOs and the CFOs, they get too serious because they've been serious all their lives in the workplace. So sometimes they forget to add their personality to their content. And almost 9 out of 10 times, when an older person decides to put a slice or a dip of their personality or their personal experience outside of the job, or something that a lesson they learn, once they get their personality in a dip into a particular content, I have seen their engagement go wild. Why? Because people like, oh wow, oh, this CEO has this other side of life. Oh my gosh. So I think the older people find it difficult. And sometimes because they got other people managing or handling their social media, there's a disconnect between the content they're putting out there because they're so serious. Well, I want to use my LinkedIn. I want to leverage my LinkedIn to make money or to, impact my business success or to unlock success for my business. And they're just so focused on and serious on that. I've seen people share stories about grief, about hard times in the hospital, about newborn, about getting married, about, finding love after divorce. I've seen those content of older people take off. Why? Because these are people's realities and they want to see you in there. I know helping your audience with their books and everything is great, but they want to know that you're not a book, but they want to know that your stuff was not created with AI. AI cannot tap into your personality or your emotions to bring out stuff. All right. It's great to get help. I do help people with their account, but what I like to do for my clients is I want to understand your personality. So I am talking Leslie. So I am talking XYZ. So I am sharing. I want to know what your day to day is like. I want to know what your frustrations are like. I want to know if you get excited about nature, about looking at the still waters, about just staring into the clouds or looking at fall leaves and stuff like that. And put that personality into your content. Then you tap into people can easily relate with that. So I realized, and that's just the difference. The younger ones on LinkedIn are having fun, are sharing their own personal stories, are sharing their backgrounds, where they're from, unapologetically too. Okay. And then I also realized that the older generation, when they put a dip of their soul in their content, it goes this way.
I like that. A dip of your soul. Yeah, I like that. Um, it's very interesting, because I find that because I'm a Gen X, I think that's what we are. It's interesting because LinkedIn is a social media platform, right? Doesn't matter. It's a social media platform. All of these are social media platforms. And the interesting thing is because I watch a lot of my peers as well, right? A lot of people that are in my age group. And what I find is there's one or two things. Either they go completely to the left, where um, they're an adult with experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at them, you can't take them seriously, right? So it's good time Susie. That's what I'll see. Or like you said, you go completely the other way, where because of your title and whatever you've been doing, you are just like extra serious. So what I find with Gen X's is that there's very I think it's difficult for us to come into that middle ground. And you said something very important, right? Some people can have other people managing their social media. And I started paying attention. I think I shared this on one of the other shows that I did. I started paying attention to older people. And older people, I'll give an example like Oprah. Oprah, I believe, is 70, right? And Ayanna Van Zandt. Those are two women that I watch a lot. And they're older women. But I can tell you that in the background, whoever's running their socials and who's ever having these conversations with them, they are paying attention and they are going with that. So you're not going to see Oprah doing some dances or being silly and being whatever because she has a personal brand that
Yeah.
people know her as. And what she's able to do, what I've been able to see, is what she's able to do is to stay consistent for the last 30 years, and it doesn't matter how old she is. and
Yeah.
and that to me is a brand that's done very well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that it's Oprah. Any one of us can do that. But I think if we just stay focused on, like you said, putting your soul in it, you being a human, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to dance, you don't have to be doing all these other silly things.
Mm-hmm.
We have experiences to share. And for me, that's the impact, right? The impact is
Exactly.
that's the impact. If you're and I, the other day I shared a story about when I went to Chick-fil-A, right? So the impact is about your story. Your story matters because, like you said, there's somebody else on this journey. So thank you so much for sharing that. Good morning, Savvy Branders TV. Welcome, welcome to our live. So I'm going to ask you if you can share a success story of someone whose business or their career that you've helped transform through the strategies, as we were just talking about the different
This is
age groups.
this is just so easy to remember, and I remember you had to remind me about that because at some point I forgot, and I'm gonna say her name because she's part of the community. One of the best people I have worked with around LinkedIn, and I see that it made a really great impact, is none other but the one and only Slay Mama. And I should just put it out there. She's a former head of the US Navy. She's retired. She's been over 30 years and stuff. And that lady is one of the most disciplined. And when I mean one of the most disciplined and consistent ladies I have ever worked with. And when I see her do stuff on LinkedIn, she built an entire business of her LinkedIn, y'all. It came from her book, Slay, I think How to Slay or Stay Ready to Be Ready. I forgot the acronym, but I know it's Slay, right? And I see now she's an image consultant. Like she's retired from the Navy after 30 years, and now she's an image consultant. She's doing personal branding and stuff. And when I see the 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 waves she's making on LinkedIn, and the other day I always would reach out to Leslie to fill my cup a little bit when I need charging here and there, because why the people around you really do matter. And Leslie was like, remember you work with Slate and see the amazing things she's doing? Remember you did that magic, girl. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I tend to forget that. But y'all, check out Rochelle Hemingway, the Slay Queen, Slay in all cap. And that's a lady I work with. And it was just for her, it was just more strategic than creating her content. And I took a cue of discipline from her, but I think she's way more disciplined than me. I am not that disciplined. And I love her so much. I love how she show up. I love how she took our conversations and our meetings, and I saw her from a dry space, like she was trying to understand what LinkedIn was like and how to use it, like retiring and trying to build her business and different things. And she's hosting events and ladies are showing up and she's helping a lot of women, especially women who served or who are serving or who's trying to, work their way to maintain uh, or step into their own level of greatness after they've served the country and stuff like that. And then I look, I'm like, I can't believe I work with such person. And for me, that's one of my biggest highlight. And then one of the organizations I work with in America is when they started using LinkedIn. Initially, they were using LinkedIn and they were just focusing on, how much how much people they're getting and how different things. And I'm like, no, focus on the conversations that is coming inside. Focus on the conversations that's coming home. People are letting you know, we want to learn more about this, create that. People are letting you know in the comments. People are like asking you the right questions in your DMs and stuff. And now I look at this business, and long after I've worked with them, they're making headways and they're using the strategies. The other day I looked at it and I'm like, to hold my hand and shake my hand. I'm like, girl, you did this. And I'm like, sometimes, we get so hard on ourselves to say, am I making a lot of impact? Am I doing well? Am I, you know, am I doing what I'm called out to do? Am I seeing the fruits of my labor? But the people I work with, especially regarding LinkedIn, the businesses I've worked with so far, um, I work with one, he always check out LinkedIn and say, oh, we did XYZ today. And I'm like, well, that's nice. Congrats. And he's like, yo, thank you, Thelma. And I'm like, I got it, thank you. And it just brings me so much joy knowing that my clients I work with and businesses I've worked with over the period, they don't just look at their connections on LinkedIn as mere numbers. Even if they're not getting so much engagement in the beginning, the goal is to be consistent on there. The goal is to take whatever connections you've made and make it personal. I remember I was just on my own and something good dropped in my inbox. It's just like, we want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So when I'm talking from experience myself, because I've benefited from my own advice and I've helped other people, get results from advice I've given them. And I can point out to an organization, I can point out to an individual that I've worked with so far. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect guru, reach out to me. Of course, it's a learning process. I always would tell my clients, this is not a straight jacket. We're going to learn as we go, and we're going to tweak and adjust strategies as we go. We're going to take what worked for us and now will work for ABCD, because our audience are different, our message is different, our contents are different, our personalities are different, and we want to be able to dip into our own selves and put ourselves out there and find our own tribe and find our own people. And yeah, seeing some of my clients succeed with LinkedIn so far and running with LinkedIn, whether it's building their audience or it's getting the numbers and their business just becoming so successful, I just sit back and remind myself and say, girl, you did that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Savvy Branders TV says discipline and consistency are the key for brand development.
And
And
can I speak to what Savvy saying? A
yeah,
lot of people mistake consistency for showing up every day, and they just end up being burnt out. They mistake consistency for intensity. A lot of
mm,
do make that mistake. I see Leslie showing up every single day, and I'm like, what? If Leslie can do it, I can do it. I want to show up every single day. You don't know Leslie's schedules. You don't know how much work she got on her hand. You don't know how much free time she has on her hand. Define your own consistency. Consistency could be once a week. Consistency could be once a day. Consistency could be 3 times a day, like drug or meds prescription, right? Define your own consistency and find what works for you. Because if you go after intensity versus being consistent, you're going to get burnout along the way. All right. So I always tell my clients, find what works for you. If you want to say, I want to show up every evening in the cool of the night, great. If you want to show up once a month, I would say start slow and then go with what you're adjusting to. Because the thing about consistency is you're developing yourself. As you're showing up, you're building your own self. All right. So the thing about consistency is it's not just showing up publicly for people to see. I used to make that mistake to say, if I want to be consistent, people should always see me being consistent. No, when you take a step back and you're pouring into yourself and developing, that's being consistent. So you find a goal. What's my goal? What do I want to achieve? Um, what am I working towards? How can I stay consistent and continue to achieve that thing? It could be showing out publicly once a week, but it could be you sleeping at the right time, you getting well rested, you being in the right mental space, you reading, you playing music, you going to the gym, you eating right, you working towards your overall health to be able to show up consistently for your people 100%. You can just focus on showing out, being out there, and inwardly you're dying, you're drowning, you're under the water, you're gasping for air. But online, you're giving it, you will get drained. And then when you do not take care of yourself consistently, like you have your car, you don't wait for your car to break down before you fix it. You have to take it for regular checkup and maintenance to the garage, to the auto mechanic, and you have to keep things in place because here's what happens. When you overuse your car and you don't check it, you're prone to getting accidents. You're prone to getting stuck on the middle of a highway without any gas because you didn't check the gas. Or maybe the lights blow out and you didn't check that. Or you were almost out on something or something broke and you didn't pay attention to that. And now you're in the middle of nowhere, endangering your life and whoever that's with you. So the thing about consistency is looking at where am I going? How can I take baby steps to get there? You want to have a bigger picture, but you want to take mini steps because if you're taking giant step, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna stretch out your leg. If you don't know how to split, you're gonna wound yourself. The people who do splits, they practice consistently at their own pace every single time until they get good at it. I watch a lady juggling balls until she split on the floor, and those balls they didn't fall out of her hands. She was able to grab it. She was on the stairs, and she came down the stairs, went back up the stairs, and came down. She did a split, still juggling those 5 or 6 balls in her hands, and she did a split. And one thing I could think about was, how long did she practice this? Have a bigger picture, but make sure to take baby steps to get to that bigger picture because if you're taking giant step and you're going above and beyond what you can handle, you're going to break down. You're not going to get to that bigger picture that you envision for yourself.
That was a mouthful. Intensity versus consistency.
Yes, ma'am.
I have not heard anyone bring those two things together, and I'm pretty sure the audience may not either. Because yes, we do, when we hear about consistency, we do think about every day. And that's actually what happened with this show. And I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel show for, I've been talking about it for probably about 2 years, almost 3 years. But I kept on saying, I know my schedule. I cannot do a show every day. I can't do a show every week. And I said, you know something? And I can't do it during the week. So I said, you know something, Leslie? You need to know what your schedule is. You do it around your schedule. And like you said, the algorithms will do what the algorithms do, and everything
Mm,
else trying to find its space, right? And
that's it.
so that's why it's on Saturdays, because I can do Saturdays, and it's bi-weekly. So I'm not trying to do a show every week. I'm not trying to do a show during the week, and I know that that does not work with my schedule. So the great advice on consistency and intensity, because sometimes we feel the harder we go, the better it is, and all that's going to do is burn you out because you're not being disciplined to your own schedule. So yeah,
Exactly.
great advice. Thank you so much for that. So as we're talking about consistency, intensity, and so forth, um, if you can give us 3 tips for someone looking to turn their passion into a successful digital brand, or if we want to just stay on LinkedIn, 3 tips for success on LinkedIn.
So I would say be yourself, be true to yourself, no matter what you're seeing, what's happening. Because people can see through the fakery. If you're not an expert in certain subject, don't say you're an expert. If you're learning, openly say, I'm learning, I'm trying this new stuff, I'm learning about it, learn with me as we go. And as you learn, you'll get to know. And when you get to know, you practice. As you practice, you gain experience. Then you can say, I'm doing XYZ now. I was testing it out, it was fun, but now it's getting serious, and I want to try my hands with some people. Be open, be authentic, be original, because definitely people can see through the fakery. I have worked with people who seemed like they had it all together, but they did not. And that only burned me out. And Leslie told me one thing, not all money is good money. All right. So you want to stay true to yourself. You want to be original from the get go and stay true to your own authenticity because you want to build a brand, not just a reputation. Okay? You want to build a brand for yourself. A brand should be long lasting, a brand should be tangible, a brand should be consistent. People should be able to tie you to something when your name pop up in a room. People should be able to remember one thing that you want to be known for when your name is mentioned or when someone come across you. Okay? You don't want to be all over the place. I can say I'm a hairstylist and I'm talking about all the time is cooking recipe. I don't say don't learn how to cook. I'm just saying you want to be identified for something. So people by now my audience know that I'm all things digital and I'm all things empowerment. All right. Whether it's professional empowerment, it's academic empowerment, it's life in general and finding your purpose kind of empowerment. Yes, that's what I want to be known for. And ever since I was younger, I'd always wanted to be a person of purpose, a person of value to my community. I want to step into a room and leaving a mark, whether it's on your mind, whether it's on your life. I want to leave a room and leave a mark. So I take that with me everywhere. I don't care if I'm a digital marketing consultant today. I could be a doctor tomorrow. I could choose to be a painter next year or whatever I want to be. My original purpose in life is to be someone of value. So wherever industry I enter, sometimes we pivot and stuff. You want to stay original to yourself, to your true core, to your true meaning and your true purpose. That's one. Then you want to connect with people who pour into you. That's success. I remember time and time where I wasn't active on LinkedIn, but my tribe found me because I was building relationship, real relationship. It's real people on LinkedIn, not bots. And like every relationship, you should want to invest in that. Don't just reach out to someone because you need something. In fact, when you want to build a true, authentic, and mutually beneficial relationship, you want to step into that relationship thinking, what can I offer this person to make them better? Guess what? When you walk into someone's life with that mindset, trust me, when you are in a time of need, if they can't help you, they may know someone who can. And because you've paid your dues over the period, they will be right there when you need it. So be original, build a mutually beneficial relationship, not just posting and ghosting, post and leave and stuff like that. Connect with people in the DMs. Reach out to them, ask them about their well being. Don't fake it. Oh, people can see. I can see when somebody just wants to fake it and sales bump me or pitch slap me. I can see it. And the most you're going to get is a block. I don't care if that person is your destiny helper, they're going to block you now. The universe can fix it later, but they're going to block you now. All right. And then, last thing you want to do, show up for people. Don't just show up in the comment section, show up in the DMs as well. Show up for people. The Bible said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The good thing about doing unto others is you're building a support system for yourself that when you're in the time of need, these people are going to be there. They're going to show up for you physically too, not just digitally. When I was out there for the LinkedIn nomination, the first year I made it to the top 3. I didn't get it the first year. I think I got it the second year. That was 2022. Guess what? I didn't have a lot of followers, but my community found me valuable and worthy of that enough to want to get me to get that. And they showed up for me. Like I was so overwhelmed the amount of support I got from real people. I didn't promote nothing. Those were from real humans. When you show up for people, if something means a lot to you, it's gonna mean a lot to those people. So be yourself, build mutually beneficial relationship, going in with the mindset, what can I offer this relationship? I don't care if it's a romantic relationship, it's a business relationship, it's a family. What can I offer to this relationship that, nothing lasts forever, right? So at the juncture of where things take a different turn or you naturally fall apart, that person will know that this person brought so much light when I needed it the most. And then support people, show up for people, and they'll show up for you.
That's just not advice for
For like,
LinkedIn, right? That is life advice, because once you started going into support and then you started going into adding value, that is so important, right? So for me, those are values, core values, principles, whatever you want to call them. Those are things that I live by. And you said a key thing is that as you pour into people's lives, and that's one thing that that's like top of mind for me, is to pour into people's lives. And for me, when I'm making those deposits, I don't know, I'm not thinking about the withdrawal. I'm not even thinking of the timeline of the withdrawal. But for me, I'm very intentional about pouring, because back to the ripple effect again, right?
yeah.
So if I'm pouring, I do expect you to pour as well. It's like this continual thing. So I'm pouring into you. I expect you to pour into others. And then coming up on the back end, I will
Mm,
expect that when I need pouring, it's gonna happen. So,
exactly.
one thing my husband said to me many, many years ago, and I think that's kind of where I get that is, so usually when you're going forward and the people that you help up front, they may not be the people that you're helping that's going to help you on the back end, right? But it's important to have that type of philosophy. And like you said, as you separate, the one thing that conscious is always going to remember is how much you poured, and the value they
And the
brought.
thing, Leslie, the important thing about pouring into people is the deposits you're making, you're building your own currency. Because
Mm,
tomorrow, somebody can use your name to unlock a certain door.
mm,
People can be able to step into rooms because Leslie held the door open 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. And sometimes it's your family.
mm,
I remember helping someone, I think 8 years ago, and 8 years, and I was in college. And 8 years down the line, I was pregnant. I was in a position where I needed help. Guess who helped me? This person happened to be the relative of that person I helped 8 years ago. And I had no idea. And I'm like, wait, my people would say good never lost.
mm,
And for me, that was the good way to amplify that statement. Where they say good, it's not just good, one good turn deserves another. It's whatever you put into life comes back to you later on. And I could not just believe it. And it was like, I'm like, wait, what if I had treated this person with so much disdain, or I wasn't nice to them? You know, this is probably going to come back to me in another form.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And and it's just a powerful way to see it, knowing that whatever you're doing now, whatever seed you're sowing now. I remember, I didn't grow up in Liberia, I grew up in Ghana, but when I was around 7, 8 years old, I planted a mango tree. When I went back to Liberia and went to my granddad's house, I saw my mango tree behind the house. And one thing that came to mind was, I grew up somewhere in Ghana, right? And I was enjoying other people's mango tree that they had planted. But here was my own mango tree serving its purpose because I planted it a couple of years ago. And that's just the thing about pouring into people or giving your best to life, to the people around you, to the people you will encounter, to the people who will experience you. Because here's the thing, a lot of time we worry about what people think of us. Meanwhile, sometimes people's perceptions are formed based on the experience they have with us. I know some people don't want to say any good stuff about you, but most of the time the Bible said by their fruits you shall know them. Have you thought about someone who you had a bad experience with, but you hear someone say very nice things about that person? That's life. We can be to people what based on the environment they create for us. And that's how they're gonna form their perception about us. So in with everything that you can be, focus on being positive, focus on making someone smile, focus on adding a drop of good to what someone already has. They'll remember that for life. Whether or not you stay in touch for life or your path disappear, I'm sure we can all remember one good teacher that was kind to us in second grade or that was kind to us in fifth grade. And we can also remember one bully that was terrible to us in high school. So it's about what we give to life. Thank you, Leslie.
That was awesome. You're right. We can, doesn't matter how old you are, you can remember those things from grade school all the way, right? So those are things that leave with us for life. So as we get ready to kind of wrap up, um, what are some of the trends that you're noticing on LinkedIn that digital creators should be aware of to stay ahead of the curve? And as I asked you that question, what I previously when we were talking, and you mentioned the way that you show up on social platforms, LinkedIn specifically, you're teaching the algorithm. And one of the things that I hear people say a lot is, the algorithm this and the algorithm that. But what people fail to realize, you're training the algorithm, right? All AI is that you're training it. A human being is training it. So I admired when you said that earlier, that you're training the way you post and the way you whatever. That's what you're training the algorithm to do. But what are some of the trends that you're noticing?
Um, I know now a lot of people are showing their face on video. A lot of people are coming from behind the curtain. They're not more camera shy. Um, I'm not saying, you know, you should show your face on video if you're camera shy. But once in a while, people want to identify the face. And the thing about video is you get to show your personality and stuff. And it's a fun way to like kind of establish authority, especially when you're sharing, right? And one trend I also noticed is a lot of people these days are doing articles now. And other than those AI generated articles, I think articles gives you the opportunity to, demonstrate your knowledge about whatever you want to talk about. It helps you demonstrate your authority or what you want to do. A lot of people will invite you to the articles to read the articles, and the good thing is, when someone write an article, LinkedIn is going to send you a notification that someone did write an article, and and a lot of people now are one, I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. You can decide that. So, before LinkedIn, we're inviting people to be experts, to talking to setting, to have be part of setting conversations. I don't know how it's going these days, but I think it's like a lot of people now are, jumping in, whether they were invited or not, I don't know. But you don't have to say in everything. Remember to stay your course and be known for what you want to be known for, to be remembered as an authority in that space. And I notice now a lot of people are losing it up a bit and sharing personal stories. And I also notice a lot of people when they jump onto LinkedIn, they're trying to LinkedIn is getting a lot of attraction now. So a lot of people are on there. Almost everybody's showing up as a guru. Almost everybody's showing up as a coach, as a consultant, even if uh, um, they know little or nothing about whatever they want to talk about or project themselves for. Don't be those people because, like I said earlier, people can see through the fakery. and people will test you. Okay, and you don't want to lose your destiny helper because you're faking it to make it later on. All right, so you could do articles to express if you have a lot of things to say, and you could diversify your content as well. Show your face here and there if you need to. You could do voiceover and use AI or fixless content to create a video or whatever. But yeah, those are some of the things I see. There's a lot of videos now on LinkedIn. People are getting more and more personal. They're showing their day in a life, or let me say behind the scenes of what they look like. I see a lot of videos on LinkedIn these days, and a lot of people are doing articles. So depending on where you find yourself based on your personality and stuff like that, whatever works for you, slide into that. Don't jump on a trend because it's a trend. Don't go viral because just because you want to go viral. Go viral for the right reasons, because visibility is great, but what are you being visible for? A lot of people just want to be visible, and that's a very interesting investment to want to do or have. But the thing about it is, if you go viral for something and that doesn't, the ripple effect doesn't come back to you, doesn't trickle down your bottom line and stuff. Don't just talk about anything because you see, okay, this topic is trending. I want to put my voice to it too, and stuff like that. Have a goal. All right. So, videos are there, but don't just do any videos. Do meaningful videos. If you are not camera shy like myself, so do meaningful videos. And if you're the writing type and you're writing articles, remember to leave a portion of you in that article because people can relate with you as a human being. So, Leslie, I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Um, One other question, and like a tangible takeaway for the audience that's come into LinkedIn, that's come into this live, and would want to know what is something. Give us two tangible takeaways that somebody can go to their LinkedIn profile right now. They for something, and then maybe they can update something. So give us maybe two things that somebody should go to their LinkedIn profile when they're watching this on the replay, and they can get an immediate takeaway.
Okay. So I will add a bit of a one bonus in there as a stuff. One, I would say your headline. Your headline is that text area beneath your name. That's your headline. A lot of people don't have time. A lot of people are busy. So you see, just like you pay for ads and stuff, and every second counts. Yes. On social media, every second count, and that your headline could make someone want to get to know you, or it can make someone to just scroll past you. So you want to be very strategic, right? I'll give you an example of what I did with mine. You want to say what you do, who you help, how you help them. Mm, okay, talking about relationships, I've gotten some more. So, for instance, my headline says digital marketing consultant and business mentor, education influencer, because I do share educational opportunities, inspirational podcaster, because I do chat with Timmy. And then the last line says helping you explore and monetize social media, lead a fulfilled life, and access global study and work opportunities. All right. So you want to be able to go straight to the point. How does my content help you? My podcast would help you to lead a fulfilled life because I do have meaningful conversations. The study abroad opportunities I do share will help you how to make a choice or to tap into opportunities you could explore for either work purpose or study purpose, especially going abroad. And also, as a digital marketing consultant and a digital business mentor, I do, show you how to leverage online or use social media to make money. Okay, so you want to be able to have the people you help in there. So if you're looking for work opportunities and stuff, and you come across, I'd be like, okay, let me check out this lady and see what she does, and then let me, oh, she's a digital marketing consultant. Let me see some of the things. Another thing, whatever you say in your headline, there's somewhere called your feature session. Your feature session is those posts that if you go across some people's content or some people's profile, you will see that they have pinned their post there. Some people will pin their Calendly link there. Some people will pin their maybe free ebook or something. Whatever you say you are up there, remember to share resources in there. Those are evergreen. I don't care how dumb at my LinkedIn account is, people always do go back to interact with that. So your feature session should be your hall of fame. It should demonstrate your expertise in the topic you say you talk about and the things you help. Initially, I was focused exclusively on LinkedIn, so I don't think I have any study abroad materials on there, but I intend to go back and retweak my LinkedIn and put some relevant materials that I know people will check out and that they can find value in. But that always to help people, newbies especially, that come across my profile. Last but not the least, your cover image is your digital signboard. It's like you walk into your office. If you don't have a sign, nobody's gonna know it's your door, right? So sometimes even if a company is in a story building and stuff like that, they're on a particular floor, you will see their sign out. Your cover image is that one behind your profile picture. Of course, your profile picture, you want to look approachable and friendly as well as professional. So you want to have a clean headshot, not a selfie, a clean headshot that projects you as approachable, professional, and friendly. And also your digital signboard, which is your cover picture behind you, you want to say something about what you do and stuff there. So people would usually come across your profile depending on the platform they're scrolling across, whether it's your phone or their laptop, and most especially people gonna use your phone. All right. So you want to be able to write something up here that's relevant to what you said in your headline and something that's relevant to what you have right here, your feature session. So I have the LinkedIn checklist. I have a few tips for LinkedIn optimization on here. I have a few forbidden foods on LinkedIn. I did this, I think, 2 years ago. Yeah. So stuff you should not be doing on LinkedIn, calling people sweetheart and stuff like that, or being extremely informal or casual with people you don't know, especially professionals. That's a red flag. And then yeah, um what you can do to like start building a relationship. So you can go across my profile and I have a little bit of, I did a test some time ago when I went bad and how we're so focused on our flaws sometimes and people don't even care about that sometimes. Yeah, so you want to be able to put in some relevant information on there that people can still go over even if your life is happening to you and you're somewhat focusing on your life and stuff is happening. You want to be able to create a space where people will find your space valuable and they would always want to go there. I hope that is helpful, Leslie.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great takeaways that people can go right now to their LinkedIn profile and be able to do something. I love the billboard, your your billboard, your feature section. I love all of that, right? And as you're talking, you're constantly reminding us that our presence is necessary. Because when you think of, when you think about a billboard, you think, oh my God, like those people on the billboard, well, you got a billboard too. So your billboard is on LinkedIn. So put the relevant information so people can know what you are and people can find you. So yes, I think that's so important. So tell the people how they could find you. How many, I forgot to ask you, what is your LinkedIn numbers now, since I know you have your phone out?
It's 11.5 now.
11.5K when you're saying that at one time it wasn't even 1,000, right? So that just go to show you live and direct how that growth can happen. So thank you for sharing. So let the people know how they can find you. What do you have available now for the people, whether it's your book or you have a course, or I know right now you're really dealing with companies. So just let the people know how they can find you.
So, yes, you can just look at Temi Ahamba. But my website is if you're interested in leveraging social media and, creating an extra income for yourself, Leslie, I just sent you my website in the private chat. It's at www.drivedigital.us. You can check that out. But if you Google Temi Ahamba or just go to any social media platform and put at Temi Ahamba, this name right here, that's what you're gonna see. And I am there. My face is the same. I love to have a uniform identity because that helps keep the scammers and the spammers away from impersonating my brand. That's a whole nother topic for another day. All right. So you can find me on social media. You can check out my website, drivedigital.us, www.drivedigital.us. That is me. You can see some of the things I do. I am coming up with a series of different things. So I'll say, please connect with me on social media because you have all the information you need across my social media. Okay. So it was fun sitting and chatting with my business mentor, my life coach, my partner, this amazing mother that nature has blessed me with. And I'm so happy that I could just sit here, and I'm just so happy she's just a call, a text, a whisper away, and she's always showing up for me. And every time I talk to this lady, I learn something. I have, and wait, I cannot go without sharing this testimonial. A few years ago, I went bankrupt. Okay. And this is not because she's here. I just want to, I'm here. So let me do it here. I always get the chance to say that. I think it's on her website. A few years ago, I went bankrupt. And you know how when you go broke to the extent that it impacts your physical health? I went to the hospital and y'all, doctor said there was nothing wrong with me. So he was like, tell me what's going on with you. And I'm like, okay, I lost all my blah, blah, blah. I lost my house funds. I was scammed big time, guys. And I remember the only person that came to mind to call was Leslie. And somehow, magically, she just calms all the raging devils in my head and my heart. She was like, Thelma, your money in your account is gone. Very softly, too. Your money in your account is gone. But Thelma, I know the stuff you got in your head is still there. You're still Thelma. So you can cry. I'll give you a few days to cry and feel bad and be down. But I'm not going to let you stay down. And I need you to get back up and think like the Thelma that I know. Y'all, this lady gave me 2 hours of her time just speaking sense into my head and talking life back into me. And within that 2 hours after talking to me, she said, I'm going to give you 3 days, girl, to come up with something that can get you that money back. Because I was supposed to pay my house rent, y'all. Like everything was gone. And I had two toddlers to feed. And oh, Jesus, it was terrible. Okay. And after 2 hours of talking to Leslie George, this amazing lady, I was like almost instantly got myself. And that's why she's very special to me. And I always try to say when I have the opportunity to. And after that 2 hours conversation, I went to my notebook. Yo, I came up with 5 different ideas that I was able to raise close to $3,000 in less than 2 weeks. And I'm like, wait, I was like a wizard. I was crying for weeks and for months, and I was down. And then I just got to talk to Leslie for 2 hours, and my brain was activated. And within less than 2 weeks, we were able to pay our house rent. We were able to get things back on course. Because I told her point blank, I needed to raise the money because it was my fault that we got bankrupt, and we did not want to borrow. So we did that without borrowing, without crediting, without owing a penny to anyone. Like Jesus, it was just like a miracle. And I'm like, y'all, whatever Leslie's doing, I always like to remind her it is not a job, it's not a business, it's a ministry, y'all. Because this lady is a blessing to me. Okay, she's a blessing to everyone who comes across her and everyone who finds himself in her space. So Leslie, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I know I tell you this always, but I really, really do love you. You have no idea what you turned this little baby into, because like, I know, and all I can do is pay it forward. I've been blessed with a lot of people, but Leslie's just top notch, you guys. And I've been blessed with people digitally, physically. And let me bust your brains, guys. I'm not saying her physically. Yes. Almost a 4 year relation. Girl, if this was a marriage, this is the dev doers part. In fact, it's a marriage, the dev doers part, y'all. Like, I haven't seen her physically. So if someone tell you a distance relationship can't work, that's a bloody lie, because you see this long distance right here, it's been working for almost 4 years. Okay. So I love you, Leslie. Thank you so much for having me on your space. Thank you so much for impacting me. I really, really do love you. Thank you so much for shining your light. And I always want to remind you that on days where things doesn't look like it's going the way you want it to go, remember Thelma's still there. So they're always gonna
Mm.
go how it's supposed to go. Okay. I love you so
Okay.
much.
Oh my
Mosaic
God.
Nation adores you. I love you. What I get to say 1,000 times, I don't get to say. Just know that you mean a lot to me than maybe you ever know. But I really do love you. Okay.
Mm. Wow. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you is not, sometimes I say thank you is not enough, but um, yeah, I don't know what to say. Um, yeah, thank you. But here's the key thing that I'll say is when we talk about support, people need to know how to support you. And what you were able to do is be naked and be truthful. Sometimes people are not willing to be naked and to be truthful so that now people can help them. And so, in your vulnerability is such an amazing quality in your being vulnerable and just being, I don't have any money, I've lost everything. I don't have anything. Okay, we let's go through that. And I know that as we're going through things that are, we've never experienced that before. You've never experienced that before. So I know it takes your brain and everything that you know, it's like it disappears. So in order for someone to be able to help you have to be honest and you have to be vulnerable and you have to trust. And so, for all of that, I say that you are forever part of my life because of the way that you show up in your honesty, in your trust. The way that you show up that way, I can only show up the same way for you. So, from the depths of my heart, I think of you as a daughter that I did not birth. I love you. I adore you. I love everything that you're doing in the world and continue to be you. So, thank you for that. And I've put her website. Hold on. There we go. So you guys can copy that and you'll find all things Thelma. So as we get ready to wrap up, so once again, Thelma, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been amazing, which I knew it would. And thank you for sharing and giving us those amazing tips. And so, for those that's going to come back and watch the replay, just put in hashtag replay so that we know that you and whatever country that you are watching from. And I know that if you have any questions for Thelma, she would also answer in the comments. So, once again, thank you for joining Mosaic Sparks. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We go bi-weekly. We'll be back in 2 weeks, Saturday morning, 10 Eastern time. So wherever you are in the world, join us at that time. Thelma, before we go off, is there anything that you want to leave with the people?
I would say there's never a right time to do something. If you want to do, the time you do it is the right time to do it. So don't let, I've seen professionals struggle with imposter syndrome saying, well, I don't think I know much of this topic to own it. No, be vulnerable, say I'm learning this, I'm testing things out, let's see how it goes. And once you put yourself out there, like I said, there are over 7 billion people in this world. There are a lot of people who are on the journey as you are, and you being bare, you being vulnerable will help your right people to find you. Okay. So whatever you want to do, whatever time you set out to do it, you don't have to be 100% to set out to do something. If you've always wanted to start a book, start a book. And if you need guidance, Leslie can help you on that journey. Talked about your story. Let's think about it. Is sometimes we're ashamed to say some things, and sometimes those are the dark stuff that actually amplifies our mission in the world. So don't be ashamed of your experiences. Life is always going to go the way life is supposed to go. So I would say whatever there will be has already been. So don't be afraid to step into the unknown, because I believe in God. I'm a Christian. We're just acting out a script. Our life has already been. So sometimes you think, well, things are not going the way I want it to go. Things are going the way it's supposed to go. the lowlights, the highlights. Is teaching you, is molding you, is preparing you. If a lot of things has been poured into your laps and you're getting tired, just tell yourself God is building your muscles for the blessings you pray for ahead. So, and if your muscles not trained enough, you can carry that heavy, that very big blessing that you've been praying for. So look at everything that you experience as an opportunity for growth, and you will take life with a pinch of salt, and that's gonna be amazing. So thank you so much for joining me. I remain Thelma Titi Ahamba. Call me Themi because you are my friend.
All right, y'all. Bye for now. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for
Bye.
viewing.